Here's a crazy idea. Have you ever thought about what would happen if you stuck a Zippo in an air fryer? Yeah, I think most of us have not, but I have, and that is exactly what we're going to be doing in this video. Yes, I am going to be air frying my street brass Zippo that I took the coating off of. Let me make that very abundantly clear. This is the street brass Zippo that does not have a coating on it. Obviously, if you want to repeat this, which by the way, if you're younger, make sure you ask your parents permission to do this. They might be confused. You can obviously show them this video. Make sure before you do this that you strip the coating off, because obviously you don't want any plastic fumes filling your kitchen or making your air fryer go bonkers. Like, we don't want that. Why am I putting the street brass Zippo in an air fryer? Well, in my last video, I showed what it's like to carry the street brass Zippo for about a month. And you can see that, yeah, this looks pretty good. It's getting pretty dark. It's looking pretty well used. But I want to take that a step further. I want to darken this by way of heat anodization. And I've made a video about this in the past with my brass armor where I took a torch and actually heat anodized that one. That torch lighter got extremely hot. So hot, in fact, that it caused the lighter to change various shades of blues and greens and purples. This one, I don't actually know if it will get that hot, but it will get hot enough to have an effect. And I just want to see, what does that look like? Will this thing turn completely black? Maybe it will turn purple. I don't know. All right, so how exactly am I going to go about air frying this thing? I actually have a couple of options. My air fryer is one of these New Wave models, and it actually opens up like an oven. It's not like the typical one where you have a bucket that you pull out. This is a little bit more like a tiny convection oven. And I actually have a couple of options that I can use. This is my most used attachment here. It's simply a mesh tray, and I basically can set things on it. Not that one has a coating on it. I can basically set things on it, and when I put this in the air fryer, there's plenty of airflow that goes all around the food, or in this case, the Zippo, kind of giving it a nice even heating. Also, because of the perforated design, you can see my light back there. Oils and grease and whatever is free to fall onto the tray below, the collection tray below. So that actually helps in keeping your food less greasy. I also have this attachment. Yes, this thing. Now you might be wondering, what the heck is that thing? And you might have a hunch as to what it is, and you're actually right. This is a rotisserie basket. Yes. When I bought my air fryer, I saw the little rotisserie button on the little Amazon picture, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I guess that just makes it spin, make the air move in a certain way, maybe like spins around and cooks things as if it's in a rotisserie. Actually, that's not the case. When I got it home and was putting it together, I was incredibly surprised to see my air fryer legitimately has a built-in rotisserie. I did not know this was a thing. Yeah, this thing sits inside of it and it spins like that. And I can take, and you open it like that, I can put my Zippo inside and close it up. As you can see, it spins, it doesn't fall out. And this is good because that allows me to get an even coating on both sides. I don't actually know if I am going to be using this method. I honestly think I want to use this method, because what this is going to allow me to do is I'll put it on here for 30 minutes, and then I will flip it after 30 minutes, and we can sort of see what the underside still looks like and kind of give us an idea of if anything is actually happening. Also, that's likely what most of you guys have access to anyway, so I believe that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so let's go ahead and prepare the lighter. So let's take it out. And I do use the bag trick with this one. The bag trick is a Zippo Fanatic 77 invention. It kind of allows you to get better fuel retention, and it keeps your insert much more securely in place when you're opening and closing your lighter. So yeah, obviously you want to make sure that you gut the thing completely, take the insert out, and if you do the bag trick, obviously take the bag out. Do not forget that. Serious, that would be awful. So yeah, without further ado, I guess let's go to the air fryer. Let's cook a Zippo. Wow, that is a phrase I did not expect to say this week. All right, here is my air fryer in all of its glory. Yes, the New Wave Live well for less. Honestly, these are really good air fryers. I highly recommend them. The one thing I don't like is the buttons are rubbing off. This is the power button, and this is the temperature increase button. Not that you would be able to know that. And this is obviously the start stop button. So this air fryer gets all the way up to about 425 degrees. And yeah, that is the max temperature. With how small of a space it is and how powerful of a blower fan that is, I think that's actually going to have a decent effect on this. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do, we can also turn on a little light, which is cool for the video, but I'm going to turn that off. What I'm gonna go ahead and do, I'm actually one of those weirdos that likes to preheat my air fryer. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that started. We're going to preheat this to 425 degrees. All right, it is now finished preheating. Let's go ahead and load it up. I'm actually gonna do this side first because I might try something on the other side. I'm not totally sure, but let's put this in. And yeah, I guess we'll give it. Oh, I have to do it in 15-minute increments. Interesting. I didn't actually know that. I think my air fryer knows that this is really hot for it. I guess in a way that's a good thing. So, because I was a little worried about running this thing for that long on the highest possible temperature. So anyway, yeah, I'll give it 15 minutes. We'll come back, we'll take a look, and then probably pop it in for another 15 minutes. So see you then. What a strange sight. 10 minutes in. Am I going crazy or is it getting darker in there? I don't know. All right, guys, I might be going crazy, but I swear it was getting darker in there. All right. Obviously, we cannot touch that, but let's get the surface light on here. What are we thinking? What is happening? Is it actually actually darker? Yep, 100%, that is a different color. That's actually doing something. That is impressive. What on earth? Guys, just to give you an example, this is the footage that I recorded from my last video where I was just showing what a street brass looks like after you carry it for 20 days. This is that same style footage after it's been in the air fryer for 15 minutes for 425 degrees. What on earth? That worked so fast. Guys, I knew going in that it will do something. I just didn't think it would be that dramatic that quickly. Honestly, this is what I was expecting after an hour in the air fryer at 425 degrees. Wow, that's honestly crazy. And guys, you know something? I want to go even darker on this. So I'm actually going to put this in for another 15 minutes with it on the other side. Now, what I was thinking about trying is I was thinking about putting a couple drops of canola oil on one side because I think that will actually show a really cool effect. You know what? Let's do that. Let's put a couple drops of canola oil on this side before I put it in the air fryer. I want to see if that actually leaves any imprints or any like designs on there. So why don't we go ahead and get back to the air fryer and try that out. All right, let's do this thing again. Let's get this thing preheated back to 425. This is probably going to be my last round just because this air fryer doesn't have confidence in its own ability to run too long at 425 degrees. So I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, let's wait for this to heat up. Okay, while that's heating up, I actually do not have canola oil. I do have vegetable oil, which I do think will be just fine. I was thinking canola oil just because it has a very high smoke rate. This also has a very high smoke rate. I fried chicken with this, and I fried a lot of things in this. So I think this should do just fine. I'm just gonna put literally very, very little bits on here, just little droplets, little splatters. So I think that might look pretty cool. All right, hopefully this is a good idea. Just little lidfuls. on the lighter. It would be really cool if it held this shape. It obviously won't, but you can see it's already spreading out a little bit. Yeah, what the heck? Let's just do that. I guess this means I'm legitimately frying up Zippo now, because technically that's the same thing. We'll see. And boom, it's in there. You can't really see the oil. Honestly, I don't even know if that oil is gonna like stay on there evenly. But yep, there it goes, 15 minutes, baby. I'm gonna keep a close eye on that because while I don't think it will start smoking, it could. Yeah, I don't even see. It's really hard to see in there, but all the oil is slid to one corner, which, yeah, I guess if any effect is made by the oil, it'll probably just be a cool little gradient pattern. I don't know, we'll see. About 10 seconds left. Not gonna lie, it doesn't look like much has happened this time. I think maybe the heat anodization has to do largely with the amount of heat there is, but let's take a look. I am super interested to see the effect of that oil. You kind of see it right there. It did something. Oh, it did not do great things. It might have been cool if that actually like stayed on a little bit better, but it did kind of create a little bit of an effect. Actually, it literally just looks like I fried my Zippo. That's hilarious. Oh well, let's let that cool off and we'll take a closer look at it. Okay, I just flipped it over. What on earth? That looks so cool. No freaking way. Oh my gosh, it is way too bad that is on the back. The front looks like poop, honestly. Oh, wow. Well then, that's kind of sick. Luckily I'm a lefty, so this is like a left-handed Zippo now. Wow, that is crazy. What on earth? That was an unexpected effect of putting oil on the lighter. Overall though, it got slightly darker. Here is another little clip, just like the one that I did the first time, comparing it against the straight brass, just to give you a sense. I think it did get slightly darker. I think any more darkness that it gets though is just gonna be marginal because my air fryer only gets so hot. If I wanted it to get even darker, I think what I need to do is focus on putting it in a hotter heat source. Now, similar to my last video, I did want to get some different lighting conditions filmed. You know, here it is outside. As you can see, you can kind of get a sense that in various different lighting conditions, you will get different, it actually will look literally different. The contrast varies depending on what direct light source you're in. One thing I noticed that you may have also seen in some of those clips is that depending on the angle even that you're looking at, especially the side that got the pattern on it, will actually vary how visible the pattern is. So one thing I will say, when I did my heat anodization to my brass armor, which you see is right here, I do remember that it faded over time. So I don't expect, at least this pattern, unfortunately, I don't expect that will last forever. It would be really cool if it did, but it is going to fade over time. So what I'm going to do, I will be carrying this around. I will give you guys a quick update after maybe 5 days in this very video. All right, you guys, so it's actually later in the same day that I recorded my video. Yeah, I've already got a little bit of an update for you. Check this out. As you can see, it's basically back to the same level of brightness that it was before, and you can barely see that sick design, which that really bums me out. Although I kind of had a hunch that the sick design would go away because, like I said, when I heat anodized my armor Zippo a while ago, I distinctly remember that fading off really fast. I do have to say one thing though. Look at the color. Like, even though I'm trying to get it good side by side here, even though it is kind of back to the initial brightness, look at how like pink it is. That's interesting. So it did do something. And there's a part of me that wonders, although I don't know if I'm going to try it just because, you know, I don't want to harm my poor air fryer, although it'd probably be fine. I mean, I don't think it would actually kill it. There's a part of me that's wondering if I kept doing this for many days in a row, would it like slowly default back to a slightly darker shade of brass or something? I don't know. Maybe that'd be an interesting experiment to try. But yeah, anyway, I did want to just go ahead and show you guys that because, and as you can see, yeah, the design, it's basically gone, which is so sad. Anyway, that is it. Let's go ahead and wrap this video up. Actually, it's funny. When I was recording that video outside, of the outside shop behind the flowers. I was standing there next to a couple. We were waiting on their son to get here so that way he could open the gate. The gate, however, was not working, so even I couldn't open the gate. But he actually, you can hear him at the end of the clip ask me.
Is that Zippo?
It is.
Yeah, my brother used to collect lighters.
Did he?
Crazy.
And he actually literally asked me, is it an older Zippo? He thought this was like a really, really old one. So it actually does what it's supposed to do. Got some real world example for you there. You don't get that in a lot of other Zippo videos, huh? I actually didn't capture him asking me that, but yeah, he literally asked me, oh, it looks like, you know, how old is that thing? Like, it looks pretty old. So I think that's all the convincing you need to air fry your Zippo. Guys, thank you so very much for watching this rather crazy video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And again, like I said, if you do try this yourself, just make sure you do it safely and under adult supervision if you are under 18. Thanks for watching, everybody, and adios.